Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here on Labor Day. We'll do a nice little spin through what's happening, and I have that sew along that I mentioned that's using a jelly roll. So yes, I'm going to talk about that, so stay tuned, don't go away. Okay, so first up is our spooky sampler. We are done. We have done all the blocks. And I just love it. Like Melissa said, who designed this, when I talked to her on our chat, that it's nice and long because they're tall, she said, so she likes to make longer quilts, and I think it's just absolutely fabulous. It could, if you wanted it even bigger, you could easily put a border on it. Now I am using, here it is, I am using this for the backing. And if you made one and you really love this fabric, I think there are still some backing bundles, like it's just this, they already pre-cut the fabric for you, so you can go and pick that up. The link is below in the description box and at my website today. So isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. So I'm trying to think, I'm going to send it to the spa to be quilted, and I'm thinking it has to have some sort of spooky overall quilting done to it. I think that would just be darling, maybe with some ghosts or spideys. Bats. Yes, something along those lines. All of the things. We'll have all of the things on there. Now today is also Cross Stitch University Day for the Fat Quarter Shop. The link is below to their video. I have not watched it when I filmed this, so I will probably talk about it on Tuesday or Wednesday, sometime this week. I do feel anxious to get that out and start stitching something, so I think I am going to get it out. I don't know what the lesson is today, but I'm going to get it out and stitch something. Get it ready, get the threads ready, that kind of a thing. All right, so the fun part is a new sew along, because when I saw this pattern by my friend Bev McCulloch, it's Holly Jolly Wreaths. These wreaths are just so darn cute. I just love them, and so I decided we'll do a sew along, and you can use any jelly roll. I'm going to use Bev's jelly roll. So this is her jelly roll with her fabric called Christmas Adventure. So it's got pinks and reds. I love the pink and Christmas stuff. It's got that gorgeous green, like I know that's like the 30s fabric green, or it's kind of aqua. Then she has this super cute little bubbles with all the little bike and the Christmas tree and the poinsettias. And then I have the red from her line. So I am, and it's on a white. So she does this on a white. I really love it for anything. This could be, that's why I said it's like, it's a Christmas, but you could do other things. What about this jelly roll from Joanna Figueroa that's got all the fall colors? Don't you think that would be gorgeous in this? And use her little circles for the background. And then I thought, well, that inner like ribbon, like the inner border could be in this red, and then, I'm sorry, red. It's red on here. It could be in this charcoal. Then you could pick something else for the bows, maybe green for the bows. This would be so pretty. So you could do a fall version of this. There is a PDF of the pattern, so you can either purchase the printed or purchase the PDF version. So that is just going to make it so much easier and so much fun for everybody, so that you can all join in. If you have a jelly roll of anything that you love, I think wreaths are classic shape. There's nothing about this that really reads Christmassy, so any kind of a wreath could be like a welcome wreath. So like if you have any kind of jelly roll, and it does take just one jelly roll. If you go over to the website, or when you go there, you can see the supply list. So it'll tell you how much you need for background and how much you need for the other colors to do the border. Now she does give you the little single one with its own little border on it. So that would be darling for she calls it a pillow in here, but I think it could also be a wreath for your door or just a wall hanging. So there's lots and lots of options, which I think make it all so much more fun to have options. That way everybody gets to join in. Okay, so today is Labor Day and in the United States, and I generally try to do as little work as possible on Labor Day, sort of celebrate that I work all the time and just have a sort of a time off after the video. So I have a mail call. This is from Deb. So she sent me this beautiful card, and but look at these goodies. Look at this tea towel with the embroidered. I love it. The fall tea towel, and it's really soft, and it's got the stripes. I love the stripes. I'm just like crazy over stripes. And she sent me this it's a candle, and its scent is called Honey. So be happy. Look at the bee. This is so nice. Thank you, Deb. I really appreciate everything that anybody sends me. It is so nice that you think of me. It's overwhelming at times and just makes my heart so happy. Thank you. Mwah, mwah. Okay, now I wanna, my King's English. Remember the little pillow top that I hand quilted? So that's done. Ta-da! And I'll hold it up close there. So this one was fun to do. One of the things which I did mention to you right at the start is like my needle was too thick and the batting was not as thin as I would have liked for doing this for me. Now here's the back. I did not put a cotton fabric on here. I decided that this is a little decorative pillow. I'm just going to keep this really, really simple. I'm not going to, you know, make it real fancy. So I'm going to trim it up, and I have to pick a backing fabric. But I have a little story to tell you. It's not long. But years ago, when I worked in an office, and I had started to quilt, and it was right at the time. It was right at the time when Kay Fassett started doing fabric. He had not done any fabric. He had done tapestry and embroidery and knitting and all that kind of stuff, but he had never done fabric. Well, it turns out he was just coming out with fabric, and in my office, one of the friends who was in another department, she was really into tapestry and that type of thing, and she knitted. I think she knitted as well, and so she knew Kay from the knitting. I had never heard of him because I didn't really do those other things at the time. So she said there is a exhibit of this guy's work, who's also going to be having fabric now, at let me see, where were we at Woodlawn Plantation here in Virginia, which is not that far from me. It's also a pretty neat location because it has a Frank Lloyd Wright home called the Pope Leahy House, which is on the same property. The Pope Leahy House actually was built somewhere else and moved there at some point. But the Woodlawn Plantations is well known for having all kinds of needlework events. They have a needlework competition, and so we went and saw this amazing exhibit where it had all of Kay's, his classic knitting and embroideries and tapestries, and then his new fabrics that were coming out. And one of the coolest things was that they had a little display, and they had borrowed some of his design boards from his studio and had those in one of the little alcove rooms in this old house. So why am I telling you this? Well, the friend that I went with, her name is Jane, and one of the interesting things is when I was thinking about this pillow and thinking about, well, what backing do I want, for the pillow, I remember at that time that we were going to this event exhibit, Jane had just finished a very intricate tapestry pillow. She's a very meticulous person, very detailed person, and she was telling me on our drive there all about picking the backing fabric for this pillow. And it was the first time I'd had anybody ever talk to me about spending so much time, like weeks. She has been spending weeks looking for now the backing fabric. Now, of course, this is before the internet, so she would have to go to different fabric stores in our area. And being in Washington D.C. area, we had quite a few to pick from, and she was not finding the backing fabric for this pillow that she wanted. And I just had never heard of anybody spending that much time. I spend very little time thinking about those things. But when I got this one done, that memory popped up into my head, which is funny and fun how those memories happen. So I got out my, here we go. So here we go. I've got out all my black fabrics, the black fabric bin, to see, because I want to do black. I decided that black would be the best thing to do on here. And I don't want anything, it doesn't feel like a polka dot fabric. It doesn't feel like polka dots. It feels like it needs something a little bit classy. So I was looking through trying to, now of course a lot of these are probably not even going to be big enough pieces. So like this is a piece I've had for a really long time, really long time. And I would love, I'll have to open it up, see how much is actually here, and if I can get that to work, because I think that's really good. This was from P&B. It was like one of their basics about 1,000,000 years ago. Nope, no date on it. So that's a possibility. And then there was, oh, here was another one. I think this is a fat quarter. So this is a small pillow. So I'm thinking that might work because they just feel, you know, it feels nice. Plus it's you know, maybe I could have used that in the front, but I didn't. So it'll have a backing that is not something that I used in the front. And that's the way I roll. So tell me down below if you have ever agonized over the backing of a project, or maybe the lining of something. If you're a garment maker, you know, the lining you put into something, the back of a pillow, the back of your quilt. Tell me if you've agonized over it. I'd love to hear. And get ready, we are going to start this on Friday, October 1st, so that should give you plenty of time to get a jelly roll and some companion fabrics to sew up these holly jolly wreaths with me. Okay, my friend, I love you. Have a wonderful day if you're watching this in the morning. Mwah! See you online.